for anyone that's using OpenSense for your home firewall and you have a PlayStation 5. If you have some network connectivities with your PlayStation 5, such as online gameplay or voice chat communication, it's very possible you have a NAT Type 3 connection instead of a NAT Type 2. So I'm just going to show you quickly how you can enable certain port forwarding rules so you can get a clean NAT 2 type connection on your PlayStation to hopefully avoid those issues. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm here in my network settings for my PlayStation 5. I'll then view the connection status that I have. And notice I have a NAT Type 3 connection. Even though I have a standard Ethernet connection, I still have this problem. So I'm going to go into my OpenSense firewall that you can see here. I have this for my entire home network. I'm going to come over to Firewall, Aliases. And alias is basically a variable that you can set up that's associated with an IP address in this case. So I'm going to say PS5 for the name. The type is going to be a host. And then we're going to put my IP address, 192.168.125. And then I'll give it a little description, PS5 living room. That way I can use this alias instead of the IP address every time I'm setting a rule. So then I'm going to go to the port forwarding. And then I'm going to add a new rule. And I can leave the interface, the TCP IP version the same. The protocol is going to be TCP for the first one. I'm going to use my alias of PS5. And then for the port range, I'm going to put my first TCP port, which is going to be 1935. I'll put that in the from and the to. That's the first TCP port. For the redirect target port, that'll also be the PlayStation 5. And then the description is going to be, I'm just going to say PS5 TCP. And then I'm going to click save. So that's my first rule. What I'm going to do instead of clicking add for my next rule, I'm just going to clone this existing one that I have. That way it pre-fills some of the values that I have. So notice the destination is already the PS5, but I'm going to change the ports. This is going to be a range 3478 to 3480. And this is also TCP for the protocol. I'm going to click save again. So now I have two rules. Next, I'm going to move to the UDP ports. So I'm going to clone that last rule, same like I did before, but I'm going to change that protocol from TCP to UDP. I'm going to change the range, and it's going to be, the first one's going to be 3074. That's going to be a singular port. And then I'm just going to change that description so I know it's UDP. And then click save. Once again, I'm going to clone that one as well. And I'm going to change this one. This is going to be a true range, or at least two IP addresses, 3478 to 3479. And then click save. And that's all I need to do for the port forwarding here in this configuration. I can click apply to save my changes. And next, we're going to go to the outbound configurations. I'm going to change it from automatic to hybrid. This is going to allow me to add a rule specifically for the PS5 for outbound communication. I need to save that first, and then notice I have a manual rules table that then appears. What I'll do then is I'll click the add button so I can begin adding a rule for the PS5. I only need to make two adjustments. I change the source address to the alias for my PlayStation 5. Again, that is associated with my IP address. And then I come down to the static port checkbox and I enable it. I'll just add a very simple description. I like to add descriptions. That's just me. Click save. And now we have this rule, and then click apply changes. That's all I need to do in OpenSense. Now I come back to the PlayStation 5. Because I'm in remote play mode from my PC, I'm going to restart my PlayStation 5. Okay, I'm going to connect back to my PS5, once again via remote play. I'm going to go to settings, network, view connection status, and I can see now the NAT type is NAT type 2 instead of 3. So if I had any network communication issues, those should ideally be resolved now. And again, I only did this via remote play because my PlayStation is downstairs. I was not trying to walk up and down while I recorded this video. Hopefully this is a helpful video, helps you solve getting a NAT2 connection type for your PlayStation. Please like and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.